Welcome to the Bloom Effect. I'm your host, Cassie Kellner, former Chairside assistant turned team coach and founder of Everbloom. This podcast is all about the real stuff, honest combos, leadership lessons, and the heart behind thriving orthodontic teams. If you're ready to grow, lead, and bloom, let's dive in. Welcome to the Bloom Effect. I'm your host, Cassie Kellner, and oh my gosh, you guys, I am greeted with the most incredible orthodontic assistant that I've ever met. Geena, I know you don't like this. Those of you who are just listening to this, she just rolled her eyes. Geena, welcome to the Bloom Effect. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
So let me just say this. Geena, when I asked you to do this, you said no.
I did.
You said, no, that's not for me. And by the way, I totally get it. Podcasts are not for everyone. And it's a bizarre concept, especially if you've never done this before. And then I peer pressured you, basically.
No, I still said no.
I kept going. I forced you to do this. You were like, no, I don't want to do this. Cassie, please don't make me do this. And I begged you. Then we spoke on the phone. I begged you some more. And you were like, you know, I feel like, Geena, I've always been like that annoying little sister to you that just begs you to do things. And you eventually say yes.
I can't help it.
So I always start this podcast with, who is Geena? Are you ready? You ready to tell the world about yourself?
Sure.
Okay, go for it. Who's Geena?
Okay, let's see. I am a mom of 3. I have 3 bonus children, all ranging from ages 30 to 16 for babies. I know. Yeah. Let's see. I've been doing ortho for 20 something years. I've been in the field for almost 30. Love it. Always known that I wanted to do ortho. So
really,
yeah, always.
I didn't know. I don't think I knew that.
When I was in first grade, we had someone come and draw caricatures. You know, those like goofy pictures.
Yeah.
Of what you wanted to do when you grow up. So I still have it somewhere. I found it. It says Geena the Great Orthodontist. And swear, first grade. Yes. So it's this silly picture of me. I'm holding a pair of pliers. So obviously this person did not know what an orthodontist did. But yeah, so I always wanted to be an orthodontist. But once I got older and begged my mom for braces, I really didn't need them, begged. I found out I didn't want to do what the orthodontists were doing. I wanted to do what the assistants were doing. So yeah, big difference in pay. But
sure. Yeah. And responsibilities. Yeah. Let's get honest.
Sure. Yes.
So Geena, I'm going to just tell the world how we know each other. We met in 2008 and you were working at Dr. Rick McLaughlin and Dr. Paul Upatham's practice in Ocean Beach in San Diego. And I got hired through a Craigslist ad. And I joined as a chairside assistant. I started in records and then I moved into the clinic. And you're going to be so uncomfortable right now because I know you don't like these things, but you single-handedly made me the orthodontic chairside assistant that I am today. You taught me so much about patient care, about orthodontics, about chairside technique and efficiency. By the way, all left-handed. I'm not left-handed. Let's not forget that. That was a wild ride when I was learning. I came from general dentistry, so I knew nothing. I did not speak the language at all, and I had this immediate connection to you. And by the way, there were plenty of other mentors that I could shout out. There was Jessica and Tiffany, and there were so many people, like powerhouse. Don't you think that was such a powerhouse team?
Oh, yes.
Oh gosh. 100%. And I was like, oh, by the way, I had no idea who Dr. McLaughlin was at the time, because as you know, and we're going to speak to this, he's such an incredibly humble human. But I remember shadowing you and paying attention because I knew that there was something different about this. And the way that you taught me ortho and the understanding of orthodontics as a whole, I owe everything to you. I truly, truly mean that. I mean, I started my ortho journey next to you. Like, again, the annoying little sister who was like, Geena, tell me everything. Geena, I need help. Geena, and I think that you and I, and you can disagree, but because I am the annoying kind of little sister, you and I had this kind of innate connection. You trusted me, I trusted you, and there was this kind of mentorship between the two of us that you really took me under your wing and was like, hey, this is what you should be doing. This is how you should be doing it. And to watch the finesse of you chairside was and still is just incredibly, incredibly mind-blowing. First of all, I did not know that you wanted to do ortho since you were in the first grade.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that crazy?
It really is. So you currently, Geena, are still with Dr. McLaughlin has since retired, and you're still with Dr. Upatham, and watching your relationship with Dr. Upatham after all of these years is actually something really beautiful, that what you guys have created and the trust that you have created together. You're still working chairside.
Still chairside. I'm his annoying little sister.
I love this.
It rolls downhill. So pretty sure he wants to murder me on a daily basis, but it's okay. I enjoy it.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that what this like partnership situation is all about? I mean, the trust and the ebbs and the flows and the messy and the chaos. And, I want you to talk a little bit to Geena for all of the ortho assistants or people who really want to get in orthodontics, because that's also a thing that people are in general, they want to get into ortho. There's you have a better space, in my opinion, in orthodontics, where you get to you have so much autonomy. You get to do this solo chairside, obviously orthodontist or treatment planning, but then you're executing everything chairside. Do you remember starting in orthodontics, and I guess even in this, in with Dr. McLaughlin and Dr. Upatham, what happened when you first started? Did you have like an aha moment of like, oh, I get ortho now? Because let's get real, you're a mini orthodontist. You're like 5 steps ahead.
I honestly remember having an oh crap moment when I talked myself up and thought I was amazing, coming from general, doing a little bit of ortho, reties. That was all I had done. I told them I knew what I was doing. I really went in with a lot of confidence that I should not have had. So I remember, gosh, these girls, but just the feeling that I got, it was like a family. It was fun. It was like, I wanted to be them. I really just wanted to be them. I remember sitting there learning, definitely humbling when you are trying to do a procedure and the doctor comes and taps you and asks you, oh, go ahead and switch out with so-and-so, So I feel like once I finally completed my first appointment, I didn't need help. I didn't need to run up to get somebody to help me do something. That was it. That was like, okay, probably almost a year, I would say, to where I really felt like, oh, I think maybe I've got this.
Yeah, I agree. I think we should speak to that too, Geena, because I feel like when nowadays, right, where practices are so fast paced, the patient load is wild. There's so much going on. I feel like we should speak to, like, people often think like, oh, in the first 90 days, you should get it.
Yeah, no. I feel like in the first 90 days, you should be sitting chairside and you should be watching and learning, because there's so much to learn. There's so much, even just, tucking a pigtail. Like it's the little tiny things, just doing the glove check, making sure there's no pokies. It's those just tiny details that we don't think about. But when the patient goes home, especially me having kids at home that have gone through braces, there's something that goes on at home. Yes, you put an expander in and you see them in 2 weeks. You don't know behind the scenes when that poor kid goes home, you try to feed them like took mine to Jack in the Box. He couldn't eat a burger and he sat there and cried. Like you don't think about please make sure you shop for them, get them, like, that just kind of like, I guess that language of, helping them get through those first 2 weeks or how they're going to feel, acknowledging, that this is going to suck for a little bit, but they're
absolutely.
They're going to get through
What
it.
would you tell someone in the ortho industry, an assistant who is just starting out?
Oh gosh, take in all you can, observe as much as you can, take it all in and what is it? Take what you need and leave the rest, take all the good from all the people that you can sit with and watch and just, become a great assistant from all of those little pieces. Cause everybody has something to offer you.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I agree. And I think too, when you box people in with training with only one individual, I think it's hindering their learning and their skills, because let's get real. There are people who love a good debond. There are people who love a good indirect bond. There are people who love a good band if people are still doing it. There are people who love to deliver appliances, and they're really good. There are people that are so good at attachment placement or placing buttons, whatever it is. There are people that love a good uncovering and getting that chain and tying it. Like, we're super nerds. We love that stuff. And there are others who are like, Invisalign's not really for me. Or, I'd rather not do a debond. I'd rather do an indirect bond. And so I feel like these people should be mentored and buddied up and paired with individuals who have a passion for that. Don't you agree?
Oh, yes, for sure.
So what advice then would you give to someone on understanding the why? Because in McLaughlin and Upatham's practice, Geena, how many lunch and learns? How many lunch and learns did Dr. McLaughlin give to us while we were in Ocean Beach? I mean, think about it. I still, and we've joked about this, it's been well over 10 plus years since I have worked in this practice with you and the team. And I could still verbatim tell you the archware sequence. Why do you think that is so important?
I feel like it's really important. Yes, I loved all of those lunch and learns. It's just, it gives you a baseline of how things need to be done. You can see the patient and you can know, okay, my patient's in an 0168 activated. My next step would be a 1622. You don't have to go get the doctor. You're saving time, knowing not to put a power chain on a light wire. And the reason why, like you're saying, there is a reason why, you don't want to tip the teeth. You don't want to do all of these things that are going to make you work harder. I think you can train anybody to go and change a wire, go put a power chain, but the why is important. You need to understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, especially if the patient asks you. You're not going to say, because the doctor told me to. No, they're like, educate them. Like patient education is important. So I feel like it's so important that you know what you're doing. So when you see something that maybe doesn't look right, you can let him know, because he's seeing 100 patients a day. You think maybe he might miss the lower right 5, might have some tip on it, or, something like that. It's our job to also double check those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like when you understand the why, that's when you're able to make those calls chairside, so that if you have to jump into a heavy rectangular wire, you're looking down and you're like, something's happening here with these, lower
Mhm.
incisors. There's no way. But if you didn't know, let's get real. How many times have we seen assistants grab the wire and just start trying to shove that thing in? And the patient is looking at them with, you could see the whites of their eyes, and they're
Mhm.
like, that is incredibly painful. I mean, I think understanding the why is everything. And that was something that you did for me, Geena. I mean, you taught me why I was doing what I was doing chairside. And that made all the difference, because I'm telling you right now, when that clicks, everything changes.
Mhm.
Everything changes for you as an assistant, as a TC. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter where you are in the practice. When you understand the why behind what you're doing, everything shifts, which is why I think team meetings and lunch and learns and the things that we went through are so incredibly important. What do you
Absolutely.
think really helped you grow in this space? I know you had a really, really humble moment, but was there anything that was really hard for you when you were first starting out that you were like, oh no, I'm going to push through?
Gosh, I don't know. I do remember starting off as chairside, and the girl that was x-ray, she ended up leaving for medical reasons. So I was put into x-ray. That was humbling because in my mind, I felt like, yes, I understand that x-ray is a very important position, but I thought that my skills should have been used in chairside. So I
Mm,
think I was in x-ray for a good while to where I was just like, guys, aren't I important? Don't you want me back there?
mm,
So I would do
mm-hmm.
my records as quick as possible, the best that I could, and I would run back to chairside just because I wanted them to see how badly I wanted it.
Yeah.
But
What
yeah,
do you
it was
think
hard.
about the importance of cross training in a practice?
It is
Because
so important.
you're like cross trained in all the things. Let's get real. Talk about the importance of this
Yes.
for a practice.
It is so important to learn from x-ray, sterilization, all the way up to admin. You
Yeah.
know, I've had to go in and do TC before. Yes, I panic. I don't like being TC. I don't want to talk about money. That's not my jam. I'd rather go and put your braces on, Invisalign, do all of that. Somebody's out. Like imagine what you guys go through. You need a CBCT. Uh, who's going to do it? You know, what do you want to be rifling through a manual of, you know, how to take an X-ray? No, like you should know everything to feel good. Where you're just like, okay, guys, this is who we have today. Who can help us out where? You know, it is a
Mm-hmm.
team. You know, all of us should be cross trained to be able to do anything, to make an appointment down to taking the trash out. And I will take the
Yes.
trash out. I do not mind. I will go clean a bathroom. I'm not too good for anything. All of us should know, hey, we're all getting paid to do a job. It doesn't matter what we're doing, just get it done.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So it's been, you said, 30 years since you've been in this industry. Do you think that you will retire chairside? Because you just said TC is not for you.
Yes, I
Is
sure
staying in the
do.
clinic for forever for you?
I don't know. I mean, can I like get pushed around in a wheelchair? And I don't know, my glasses are going to be this thick and they're going to be like, oh, this lady should not be working on me.
I
I
mean, I
don't see
just feel like
myself. Yeah,
you
I
don't
don't
you don't see
know.
yourself.
I think at some point I'd have to be, move up to admin, but in my heart, I am chairside.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think, I know all of the roles in the practice, and, I don't work in a practice, as you know, anymore. I'm an orthodontic consultant slash coach, but if I had to go back, there's no way I think that you could put me anywhere else. It's like my passion. I'm a super nerd when it comes to this stuff. And I'm passionate about and protective. I'm protective over all of the chairside orthodontic assistants out there in the world. Like, I feel like those are my people.
She did, yeah. And you're great in the back. You're amazing.
Oh, thanks. Well,
You should
thanks
come
to you.
back. I will hire
just,
you.
Listen, if I went back, that's where I'd go. So speak to me too about what's one of your proudest moments in orthodontics, chairside, that people can really relate to?
Gosh, my proudest. I don't know. I have a kiddo that he was so hard to work on. He was, I feel like he definitely had, some issues, and he was hitting us. He was just like, we couldn't get an appliance in. And I figured, okay, you know what? Like, we got to be able to do this. We have to have this relationship. I talked to him. I listened to him. I acknowledged his feelings. I wanted to get down to this. Hey, like, buddy, what's going to help you? He's like, I just really want to know everything that you're doing.
Oh.
Okay. I mean, like, this kid was bad, like not that we should say a patient is that. It was just very, very, very hard to work on.
Yeah.
I ended up seeing him every time through his phase 1 treatment. And at the end, I told him, you know what? I'm going to put whatever movie you want to watch on the TV because to take his braces off. And he was so happy. Afterwards, he told me, thank you so much. Like, he's 8 years old. I'm going to write a review about you, about how amazing. And I was like, please write a review. Dr. Upatham needs to hear that I'm good. But just getting through that, what is going on with him, and knowing what he needed. What he needed was for someone to break it down for him. And night and day, that kid just turned it around, and he is amazing. I would take him any day of the week, work on him. Every time they see him on the schedule, everybody's like, I'm not taking that one. So to have someone just acknowledge, like, hey, you know what? I really like you. Like, that was just awesome.
Yeah. And I think that we forget sometimes, especially if you're seeing 100 patients a day, even if you're not, even if you're in a boutique practice and you only have 3 assistants chairside, but you guys are hustling, right? I think that it's really important that we remind ourselves that there's a human behind this. Because a lot of times I've seen assistants just like lay the patient back. They haven't engaged. The patient just opens their mouth, organically. We don't say anything. We don't introduce ourselves. We don't acknowledge, we don't say what we're going to do. We just start taking off color ties. And I think that sometimes when you're in it, especially, when the school bus shows up at 3:00 and it's pretty chaotic back there, we forget. I think we forget that, like, there's some anxiety here, unless a patient is reacting in the way that this patient was reacting. I think it's our job to create a safe space. And that's exactly what you did. And if you didn't understand the why behind what you were doing, Geena, there's no way that you could have explained to this patient and brought his anxiety from a 10 to a 2 chairside. There's no way that you would have turned this relationship around, because we're not just seeing them one time and cleaning their teeth, right? Like, we're seeing you every X amount of weeks, and we're creating that relationship. And so I would tell people probably the 2 most important things from a chairside is trust. That is huge. And remembering that these are little humans who we need to engage with and make sure that we're creating a safe space, because we forget that sometimes, especially when you've been doing this a really long time, or you're brand new and you're like, oh, all I need to know is that I have 30 minutes to get this done, and I'm watching this time tick, and now it's turning red and I'm panicking. Stop. Just
your patient
stop.
shouldn't know your stress. Yes, I get that we have a time, and sometimes they just want something explained to them, and you're like, I really don't have time for this. But the mutual respect, yes, they're a little person, but we also need to show them respect, that this is their body. We are doing something to them that they might not feel comfortable with. Don't just lay them back without telling them. I'm sorry. Would you like it if someone came behind you and just started laying your chair back? I'd be like, whoa, hi. Just putting their hands in your mouth. Like, no, I explain everything. I'm going to lay you back. I'm going to go ahead and take your collar ties off. Is anything bothering you? Let them feel like they have power in that chair as well, that they are heard, that, they might be having a bad day. You don't know what happened before they walked in that door.
Yeah. They have a say.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. I had a patient. She was in phase 1 treatment too. This was not at this practice. It was at another practice. She had such high anxiety, Geena. It was actually so sad. She could not, and there was definitely another component to it, right? But she needed to understand the why. It was the same thing, and we were trying to get an expander in her. And think about these little. I mean, my son is 6. He's so narrow, Geena. It's like the dentist keeps asking if he's a thumb sucker. He's not. Like, that's how narrow he is. Okay.
Oh, no.
I'm like, oh, buddy, I'm already warning him. Like, it's happening. We're talking about what braces are, all the things. Anyway, at the time, I did not have children when I was working on this patient. She had a younger sister and an older brother, and a single mother. And the mom, you could tell, was like, oh gosh, my child is really going through it. I mean, think about it from a parent perspective too. And then you send them home with this crazy appliance in their mouth, and also you're responsible of turning this. Okay. So good luck.
Yep.
And so I realized it was really intense for her. So we took it down. I was like, well, my 30-minute appointment's about to turn into 70. And I let the rest of the team know, hey guys, this is what's going on. I'm going to be here a while. You guys are going to have to pick up the slack. I think that's also a really big piece to a cohesive clinical team, is the communication behind, hey guys, this is what's going on over here. And listen, we're in an open bay. Most times you know what's going on. If you have a very anxious or something's happening over in chair 4, right? Everybody's very aware of it. But communicating is really important. Fast forward, we get the expander in. She goes through all of her treatment. She fell in love so much with this practice, and we built so much trust. She was another one that was on that schedule, was like, Cassie, that's all yours. And I didn't mind. I felt really fulfilled, of like, oh man, you went from like 100 and I got you way down to where you were like skipping in, excited to see me. I don't think there's anything. And that's why, Geena, Chairside's for me. Like those moments, I don't think anything's going to ever change that feeling that you get when you turn this around, right? Absolutely. She loved us so much that she had her birthday party in this practice.
No, she didn't.
She did. She asked, can I have my birthday here? I think she was turning 8. And obviously I spoke with the orthodontist. It turned into a huge marketing opportunity, of course. And we were like 100%. They got to do alginate, like handprints. We went crazy for this family and all of the children that she brought in with her. But those are the moments where you're like, you didn't even want to walk in here and now you want your birthday in this practice.
If Dr. Upatham hears this right now, do you know what you just did?
He's going to be like, now we offer birthday parties.
Geena, hands, alginate, we got this.
But those are the proud moments, G, that are really important on why we do what we do. And, again, I owe so much to you and how you taught me to show up as my authentic self. Think of these patients as little tiny humans that they are, even adults. Believe me, there's plenty of anxious adults. There's the orthognathics. Oh my goodness. The orthognathic that we have experienced together. I mean, I still think of these patients, by the way. There's 2 in mind. One was crazy class 2. And he wrote a review at the end that said, he was never, I don't know if you remember this, I know you do, that said he was never able to eat pizza. Mm-hmm. You remember?
I think so. Yep.
And he was like, and he had surgery, and he's like, you guys totally changed my life. And then there was another one. She was class 2. She was actually a news producer, and she was like my bestie. And I would see her every single time. And yes. Yep. And her surgery, I mean, changed her into one, it changed her life, but it changed the way she looked, it changed the way she ate, it changed the way she slept. And it's the most fulfilling. I know I sound like such a nerd right now, but it's really such a beautiful industry, outside of systems and all the things that I talk about all the time. Like, at my core, this is everything. And I owe so much of that to you, Geena.
Thank you. I hope that you know that you also, you can't just teach anyone. You need to take credit where credit is due. You are amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I learned so much from this practice, and I owe so much to Dr. Upatham and Dr. McLaughlin and all those OG assistants, the Tiffany, the Jessica. I mean, are you kidding me? That was such a powerhouse team. And I think, Geena, the difference between that team and other teams that I've either been on or I've seen in my this is year 21 for me in ortho, is those assistants knew the why. They knew why they were doing what they were doing. And in my opinion, it's the differentiator between a good orthodontic assistant and a great orthodontic assistant.
I think you should be able to go to your doctor and say, doctor, this is what I did today. Go ahead and go check my work. I see that they were in 1622s. I went ahead and put in 1925. Should we start class 2 elastic? Something like that. It's nice. I think they love it too. Once the doctor has that trust with you.
Yeah. I mean, if you want a well-oiled machine, you have to teach the why behind what you're doing. Especially nowadays with younger generations than us. We're kind of the oldies and OGs now, but they need to understand the why behind what they're doing. You cannot throw people in to working on patients' chairside anymore. It just doesn't work.
I feel like this generation's a little bit different. They have more of that instant gratification. They want to be able to just get in there. It's just like, no. I've seen it. Let me do it. And I think you just need to slow them down and be like, no, really, this really is important. And it's not because I don't trust you. And it's not because I don't think you're good, because you are going to be good. Take that time in the beginning to learn. It's so important. It really is.
Yeah. Geena, you are an amazing human. I cannot thank you enough. My peer pressure worked. You joined this podcast for me and you got to just explain what that journey looks like and the why behind why people should be really focusing chairside on understanding orthodontics and becoming a mini orthodontist chairside so that you have a well-oiled machine. Thank you so much, Geena, for joining me. And thank you for being a part of my journey. Truly. I know I would have been able to be on this journey no matter what, but starting with you, in my opinion, changed everything. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining me on The Bloom Effect, where we keep it real, keep it growing, and always keep it team first. If today's episode sparked something for you, an idea, a shift, or just a reminder that you're not alone, take a second and share it with your team or a fellow ortho leader. Be sure to subscribe so you never miss a convo, and if you're loving the show, leave a review. It helps more practices find us and join the movement. And if you're ready to bring this kind of energy into your practice, visit discovereverbloom.com to learn more about working together. Until next time, keep leading with heart, keep building with intention, and keep blooming right where you're planted.